Hello. So I shared this project and received a few requests to make a tutorial, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm not going to decorate the whole thing. I'm just going to put one basic one together for you, just so you can see how I put it together, because I mean essentially the decorating is putting on some paper, and I'm sure that you guys can do that. So I'll just show it to you again real quick. This is how it works. And then down here are some more pockets. And it folds all up like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make one today. I'm going to make this one out of the same color paper. I'm going to make it out of craft cardstock this time, all the same. This one was made out of different colored paper. So we'll see how this one turns out. Okay, so to start off, let's make the cover, because that's easy. We're using poster board, and I get my poster board from Joann's. It comes in a pack with the chipboard that I buy there. So I'm not sure where else you could get it, but it's just essentially poster board, so you could probably get it at a school supply or an office supply store. It's just slightly thicker than cardstock. It's a little bit tougher, so that's why we're using that for this project. So let's see, to start off, you need to start with a piece of poster board that is 12 inches long, and it's going to be 6 1/4 wide. Okay, and to score this, it's a little bit more complicated. I use a stylus to score it because it works a little bit easier than this, because it is thicker. Okay, so we're going to score this at 3 1/2. Wrong side. 3 1/2. 4 1/4. 9 1/8, and 9 7/8. Okay, you may need to adjust this depending on how many pieces of paper that you put in, and if you can get a piece of poster board that is bigger than 12, that would work better. My poster board is 12, so that's what I'm stuck with. So you're kind of stuck with this measurement for this project because they just barely overlap to close. That's why I had to use this. I wanted to use magnet to close it, but I didn't have enough of an overlap, so I used the elastic. On this one, I think what I'll do is put a piece of elastic in here, and then I'll have it wrap around the whole thing to close it. We'll see how it turns out. Anyways, so this is essentially your cover. This is how simple it is. You just fold these up, and just like that, that's your cover, and that's how it's going to work out. Okay, so you have a little bit of an overlap there, and you need that to close it. The reason I couldn't put a magnet is because my magnet, the tape that I would have put when I matted this, would have shown through, and I didn't like that. So I had to get creative and come up with another way, and I'll come up with a different way to do this one. But essentially, this is your cover. You can now set this aside, and we go and we work on the pages. Okay, so again, you need your scoring board, and you're going to start off with a piece of paper that is 7 by 11. Okay. Each sheet of this is going to make 2 pages. And because they need to be even, you need the same number. So essentially, however many pages you want on each side, that's how many papers you're going to have. But you need to end up with the same number on both sides. So I did 4 of them. So I had, I'll show you what I mean. I have, these are the pages that we're working on. I have 4 pages on both sides. It doesn't matter how many you do, just make sure that you have 4 pages, the same number on each side. And you'll get that because each one of this measurement that I gave you gives you 2 pieces of paper, and you'll see how in a minute. Also, remember that when you're doing this, you want your thing to close up. So I don't know if you can tell there, but I have just barely enough room to add pictures to mine. So you want to keep that in mind too when adding pages, okay? So 4 was kind of my max. That's what I worked with. So to start off, you're going to put your piece of paper in your scoreboard at 11, okay? And then we're going to score the 11 side at 1.5 inches. And we're going to score this side at 9.5 inches. And then just to help me with my cutting, I'm just going to put a little tiny mark there at 5.5 because I'm going to end up cutting this in half. Okay, and I'll show you that in a second. Then we're going to turn it, and on this one, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 3.5 inches, and 6.5 inches. Okay, so it's that simple. Let's go ahead and score the rest of them real quick. We're putting in the long side, and we're going to score it at 1.5 and 9.5, and then just make a little tick mark at 5.5. Then we turn it, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 3.5, and 6.5. Okay. I'm going to score it at 1.5, 9.5. Whoops. Make a little mark there so I know where to cut it. And then turn it 1/2 inch, 3.5, 6.5. One and a half, 9.5, tick mark at 5.5, 1/2 inch, 3.5, and 6.5. And that's that for that page. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on those pages real quick. First thing we're going to do is cut these in half, and that's going to give us our 2 pages per 1 sheet. If you wanted to cut them in half beforehand, you could easily do that too. I just thought it made it a little bit easier, a little less scoring to do it this way. We're going to cut this one. And last one. just like so. Okay, now here's where it gets slightly complicated, just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So half of them, we need to make sure that we put our hinge on one side, and half of them we need to put the hinge on the other side because we want our book to open like this. So we got to make sure that we pay attention to that little bit, okay? So for this half, what we're going to do is we're going to cut a 1/2 inch on this side of that score mark. And then we're going to completely remove what's on this side, okay? Just give this a little bit of a, then we turn it here and we're going to cut out a little triangle just like that. Okay, oh yeah, and then we have to cut this in and remove a little triangle. So when you're all done, whoops, this is what your page should look like, okay? So you should have 4 that look like this. Let's do another one real quick. Well, actually, we have to do them all because I didn't do any pre-cutting. So we're gonna cut about a 1/2 inch. It doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. We just cut over from the score mark, and then we're gonna cut this line all the way in just like that. And then while we're here, we might as well just remove a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Then we're going to turn it this way and we're going to cut out a little triangle like that, and we're going to cut out a little bit there, a little bit there, and just this little bit right there. Okay, so just like that. Let's do another one. Okay, so again, we're going to go over about a 1/2 inch and cut up to the score mark. Then we're going to turn it and we're going to cut this whole score line. And then we're just going to remove that, that, just like that, and then a little bit over here. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to take a triangle out of there, a little cut there, and a little cut there, just like that. And last one for this way, we're going to remove this. I did a 1/2 inch over. Essentially what that's giving me is tabs for my pocket here. Okay, just like this. So there we have that. Okay, so now while we're still cutting, let's go ahead and cut the other ones. And on these ones, we're going to do it the same way, except we're going to cut the opposite direction. We're going to leave on this side, we're going to leave the 1/2 inch, and then we're going to turn it and we're going to cut just like that. And then a little bit there, 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 the triangle out of here, and there. So that's for this side now. And do the same thing. Cut up here, cut this score mark over like so, cut these off, this off, a little triangle there, and this one and that one. Okay, cut. Nope, that's not gonna work. I thought maybe I could save a little time and cut 2 at once, but I can't. Okay, move that, 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 triangle there, 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 and the last one. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so now we have 4 that are one way and 4 that are the other way. Okay, now all we're going to do is take and do those folds. We're going to do up these ones first, because what we need to do is work this one. After we have this folded, this one is going to come up over the background, and that's going to create our pocket on the inside. And then this and this one, and they come up like that. And then you have your page. Let's see. This one. Okay, so this one is going to score. This is going to be our hinge. Okay. So that's going to be our flap that's going to come out like this. So this page is going to be this side of them. And essentially you just have to pay attention to which one of these becomes the flap that you fold in, because you could fold this one in and this one could wrap around. Actually, that's what I want to do. I like to wrap it around instead. It'll help it cover the whole thing, and then that's going to be your hinge. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it together. We're going to open it up, and we're going to put adhesive there, and then put that down. Now we're not going to adhere our pocket yet, because we need to attach the next page to this one. Okay, so leave your pocket undone, and then grab your next page. And now we know we want this one to fold in like this, because we want them both folded on one side like that. Okay. And then we're going to fold this one over like so and bring this around. And sometimes you just gotta work with it just a little bit. Okay, so there's our next hinge. And then we're going to bring our pocket up like that. Gives us a nice little page just like that. Then we're going to take this hinge and we're going to put our adhesive. Make sure that you use a strong adhesive. If this doesn't work for you, you need to use one that is really strong, because this is going to be the base of your book. Okay. Then you've got your hinge on there. Now all you need to do is apply your adhesive to your pockets, your pocket tabs, and then you can fold those ones up, adhere them really well, and then you have your first, oops, I forgot, I messed up. I did not adhere this one yet. Don't adhere your pockets. I like to put the adhesive down first though. Then it makes it a little bit easier rather than putting the adhesive once you put the next page on. So now my pockets are already they already have adhesive on them. Okay. Alright. So there's 2 pages together. Next page, we're going to fold, again, we're going to fold this side up. This is going to be what holds our pocket together. Then we're going to fold this side, just like so, and then we're going to work this one around, and then the pocket up. If you're noticing that you're having a lot of bulging, then just kind of work the paper a little bit differently and it will work itself out. Okay, this time I'm going to adhere it right. We're going to put the adhesive on there. Whoops. Okay, little adhesive on this one, and then alright, then we bring this over just like that. Also, if you're noticing that your pocket is not working very well, just trim a little bit of, just trim a little sliver off of this paper and that will help too. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to put our adhesive on this pocket, or on this flap, and then this flap is going to attach to our next page. Just make sure to line up the tops. Make sure your tops and your sides line up. That's the important part. Then after you get them on, press down, open it up, and then you can bring this pocket back over, and then you have another page set. Okay, and then we're going to do the last page, or the top page. So this goes like this. This one folds like that. We bring this over. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy. The most difficult part for me was making sure twice I messed up and put my hinge on the wrong side. So you just need to make sure that you pay attention to that part and it will go together really easy. Okay. Alright, then we fold that over. And on this top one, you can bring your pockets up because nothing is going to attach to it. Then we're just going to put some adhesive on our sides there. Bring this over. Line it up. Trying your best to make sure that it's lined up. Then open that up and then we can adhere this pocket, just like so, and then now you have the first side of your book done. As you play with it, mine first popped open like this a lot too, but as you start to seal your book and whatnot, it will close and stay closed. Okay, now let's do these ones. We're going to do these the same way. This side is going to fold up just like that, and then this side is going to fold up, and then this is going to wrap around, and this is going to fold up. And then now you can see our hinge is on this side, so this page will open like this. Okay, let's go ahead and put some adhesive there. Make sure you don't stick down your pocket again. Set that aside and do the next one. Fold up your pockets. Bring your hinge over. Bring your pocket up, just like so. Adhesive there, there, and there, but don't fold your pocket in yet. Okay, and then we're going to put adhesive there. Line up your tops again. And then open it up and close your pocket over that tab. And then this one is going to be a little bit complicated because it's going to feel backwards to you. Excuse me. Because we don't normally put our hinges on that side. So while you're working on it, it's going to feel backwards, but just got to roll with it. Just fold them up again. Okay. Now put our adhesive, bring this over, put adhesive here, just like that. Lots of pressure. Open it up. And like that. And then our last page, why aren't these ones working? There we go. And then okay, and now because this is the top one, we can just go ahead and adhere our pocket up, and then our adhesive there. You could make these if you wanted to without the pocket too. You don't really need this pocket on the front. I just thought it added to it. And the paper collection that I used for the first one had really cool little pockets that I thought fit it nicely, or little cards that I thought fit in there nicely. So now this is how your book is going to work. You have these which come together. Okay, so we close that. I'm just going to put those up and we'll put them all in the book at the same time. The last little bit that we have to do is make our the bottom pages, and they're very easy. Okay, so let's get out our scoreboard again. We're going to take these, we're going to put them in here at the 7.5 side, and we're going to score, whoops, we're going to score these at 1/2 inch, 3 3/4, and 7. So do that to all 4 of them. 1/2 inch, 3 3/4, 7. 1/2 inch, 3 3/4, 7. And then 1/2, 3 3/4, and 7. And also you should know that however many pages you put on the top, that is how many pages you should put, that you should do for this. This should be your bottom, and that's how many pages you should have there. Okay, now these are going to come together really easy. You're just going to fold up your bottom 1/2 inch and then fold them up to meet, and then lastly this little piece folds around as your hinge. Open it up, apply your adhesive there, bring them up to meet, and you do want your 1/2 inch to be at the top. Okay, grab our next one, fold them up, open them up, so this piece is going to adhere, this piece right here is going to adhere to our board. So you don't want them at the top, my bad. This piece is going to adhere to that one. So we're going to put our adhesive on the outside of it, fold it up, and then just line it up with this piece here. Oh, a little too high there. It helps to just place it on the table and kind of put them together that way. It'll help line them up a little bit better. Okay. Again, fold up the bottom one. Fold that. And then that one. Line them up and adhere them again. I forgot to put the adhesive on that one. My goodness. I'm trying to work too fast. There's that one. Alright, and then the last one, we just fold it up and adhere it. And then put the adhesive in the folded position just like so. And make sure they line up and then press it down. Oh, and I forgot to adhere it again. Okay. Alright, now we can put them together in our cover. So you grab your cover, and this piece right here is going to go on the bottom. Okay, so just the same as you did before, you grab your adhesive, apply it in the folded position, and adhere it down. Kind of try to center it a little bit. Okay, try this again. I didn't quite get mine centered. Your papers are 6 1/8, and your cover is 6 1/4, so that you have a little bit of a leeway in the middle. Okay, so now we have that one on there just like that. We're going to cover this so you won't see it with a piece of pattern paper. Then we take these, we're going to start off with one side. We just put our adhesive directly on there, and then we're going to put this, there's going to be a lot of space at the top. It's going to seem odd, but that's because I put tabs on mine, so I wanted the extra space. If you don't want the tabs, then you can give that extra space so that you could put a magnet on there easier if you wanted to. But I wanted to put tabs so they were sticking out of mine. So I just did the same thing. I just lined it up there. And I'm putting it more towards the bottom, but not right at the score mark, because that will interfere with your folding. And I'm putting it close to the edge, but also not right at the edge, because that too will interfere, or that will show. So this is how it comes together. You have your pockets up here, your pages I mean, and then you have these ones. Now up here, inside here, I put another pocket. I made a pocket that was a little bit smaller than this area, because you don't want it to interfere with the fold, so you do not want it to come right up to the score mark. Make sure that you leave just like 1/8 of an inch so that it won't interfere. And then I just put a little pocket there, and then I just covered the rest with stickers and pattern paper. I also rounded my edges here so that they matched up a little bit better, and then that is your finished project. It will come out looking something like this when you're all done. And you can see how now they stay a little more closed, and that's because I had it closed for a long time so that I trained them to stay closed. And this is what I was talking about. The pattern paper came with some nice little cards that fit in there perfectly. And it came with nice stickers too, so I didn't even have to, I didn't cover all the paper, like these pockets, they're not covered with paper. And the reason that I did that is because we are so set in space here. We don't have a whole lot of space. So once I add pictures to this, it's going to get even more full. So I didn't want to add a whole bunch of pattern paper and then have it not be able to close. I did pattern paper the back sides of these, but the rest of them I didn't. And the reason for that was because I want the room for the pictures. Like what I'll do here is I will just put a picture on the back of this, and that will be my picture. What I should have done is I could have punched these, because I did them in different colors. On our new ones, because they're in the same color, they don't really show up all that much, so it won't bother me as much. On this one, because I did all of the pages in different colors, they show up really well. So what I should have done is maybe gave myself a little extra room and maybe edge punched them so that they looked a little bit nicer on there. But you know, I didn't, so I'm just gonna have to live with it like that, because I don't want to lose any more space. I want to be able to have room to put some photographs in here, and if I add too much pattern paper, then that's just going to take all of my photograph room. So anyways, there's my project. I hope you enjoyed it. I will finish this one. I don't know how yet, but I will finish it, and I will maybe share pictures on my Facebook. Okay, I will see you all again very soon. Have a good day.